Hey guys, welcome back to The Curly Reader. My name's Amanda, and today I want to share with you the books I'm planning on reading in the month of August. Alright, so I've been doing really good on my monthly TBRs this year. It has actually been working out fairly well for me. Some months I do smaller TBRs, some months I have more extravagant TBRs. This month, we're going to do things a little bit different. I have one book that I'm in the middle of that I will be continuing on into August and even into September. And then the rest of the month is going to be themed, so that's kind of exciting. But the book that is kind of the outlier in this is Les Miserables by Victor Hugo. This is like the biggest book ever. But I have been reading this with a group of ladies on YouTube that have been hosting this like read-along, Les Mis-along, I think is what they're calling it. They've been having, I think it's like every 2 weeks, they're having discussions about different parts of the book. And so I have read through, I'm mostly through book 2 at this point, which I don't even know where that's at. Like where I'm at in this, because I've been listening to the audiobook. I will put down below which audiobook I've been listening to because I really like it. But yeah, so I am planning on continuing to read Les Mis. And then I decided, I was looking at my shelves and I was like, you know, what am I in the mood for? What do I feel like reading? And I had already committed to another read along. I actually had planned on buddy reading a series of books with some friends, and then we found out that some other YouTubers were going to be doing a read along for the series, and so we're going to be joining in on that instead of just doing the group read. But it kind of got me thinking about other similar books that I wouldn't mind reading, and so let's just say that my NASA shirt today is not a coincidence, because I'm planning on reading a lot of sci-fi in August. So the series, in case you didn't pick up on it, is going to be the Lunar Chronicles. I had made it an annual goal of mine to read the Lunar Chronicles, and so I had mentioned that, and then Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand, and I think Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library, and Krista from Books and Jams, we read together a lot, but they had said that they wanted to read it too. I think it's a reread for me and Krista, maybe? I don't think Sarah's read it yet. But we had planned on reading it anyway, and then we found out that Bookchara and AStar Reads, who are two other smaller booktubers, are doing a read-along of the series, and so we're like, perfect, we'll just jump in on that. And so I will be participating in their Lunaralong that is going to be taking place August, September, October, November. There are 4 main books in the series, and so it's like, I think it's 1 book a month for the main 4 books, so I'm super excited. If you don't know, Cinder is a sci-fi retelling of Cinderella. Each of the books in the series is a sci-fi retelling of a fairy tale or folk tale or something like that. So yeah, I am very excited for this. This is like one of my favorite series of all time. I listened to the audiobook originally. I'll probably listen to the audiobook again because it's so good. It's just so good. It sounds so weird. Like whenever I talk to people in real life about it, I was like, you know, they're just like, what? It's so good. Trust me. It's just great. So anyway, that kind of sparked my like, I'm really in the mood for some sci-fi. So I actually also have Project Hail Mary currently on Audible. My sister has it on her Audible, and so I'm going to be listening to that on audio. I thought about buying the book because The Martian by Andy Weir was, same author, was my favorite book last year, but I kind of want to wait for the paperback to come out because I have The Martian in paperback. It's a whole weird bookish nerd thing, but I would rather have the paperback. So I'm holding off on buying the physical copy of it, but I do have the audiobook already for that, and so I was like, I really want to read Project Hail Mary. I've been hearing amazing things about it, and so I really want to read that. And then I'm like, and I want to read Cinder. Let's just read some sci-fi. So I got Cinder and Project Hail Mary. The other ones that I have here that I'm planning on reading are more like, you know, it's kind of, these are the sci-fi that are on my radar. Well, I'll get to what I get to, and then there will be lots of other things throughout the month that I will be reading as well. But I did pre-order Alastair Chisholm, who wrote Orion Lost, who which was like one of my favorite books of middle grade March. He came out with a new book. I pre-ordered it. It's on its way to me, but it is a UK release, and so you can't really find it very easily. I will link the book depository link for it though down below, which is where I ordered it from. He came out with a new book, and after reading Orion Lost, I was like, I don't even know what it's about, but I want to read it because Orion Lost was so good. But the new book that he has that I pre-ordered is called Adam 2, and it's kind of like, I don't know, it's this guy who is like underground, and then he wakes up and he goes above ground, and like everybody's gone, and so he's by himself. That's really all I know. But we'll see. So I want to read that as soon as it gets here. And then I also have another middle grade UK copy of a book, and that is Wonderscape by Jennifer Bell. This is one that I had gotten recommended by Jay at JD Ray Reads, and this is like a time traveling thing. It's Arthur, Ren, and Cicely. They go to investigate a mysterious explosion, and they find themselves trapped in the year 2473. They're lost in the Wonderscape, an epic in-reality adventure game, and they must call on the help of some unlikely historical heroes to play their way home before time runs out. So it's like sci-fi, but with like a little bit of history in there. It sounds amazing. There's a hot air balloon on the cover. I'm sold. So I've been wanting to pick this one up since I got it. I also bought Skyward by Bryan Sanderson. Most of Bryan Sanderson's adult stuff does not appeal to me. I'm not into high fantasy at all. My husband's read some of it and enjoyed it. It's just not my cup of tea. But YA sci-fi, I can get on board with. So I had bought this a while ago, and yeah, I have no idea really what this is about, but I've heard so many people love it. Spensa's world has been under attack for decades. I don't know. I think it's like her dad was, I don't know. I have no idea, but it's got really good reviews. And then if I have time, I would love to reread Timeline by Michael Crichton. This, prior to starting BookTube, was the only book that I had ever reread in my life. And I want to say I probably haven't read this in at least 10 years. I love this book, or I did anyway. This is another time traveling, like a history with sci-fi mixed in, but it is about a group of people that goes back to France in, I don't know, the 1700s, something like that. Anyway, it's like time travel, and they have like a time limit on how long they can be there before they have to get back. It's a whole thing. It's all like scientifically explained. I love it. The movie's fine. The book is so good. And so I really, really, really want to reread this too. So yeah, that's it. Those are kind of the books that I'm planning on reading in August. A lot of sci-fi and Les Mis. And then I think I also have a buddy read on my calendar in August, but I need to check in with my buddy and see if we're still doing it or not. So yeah, and then I'm sure there will be other things that float in here and there, you know, whatever. But yeah, so this is it. This plus Project Hail Mary and Adam 2, which I don't have right now, but is coming. So yeah, if you've read any of these, I would love to hear your comments about them down below. I know a lot of people have read this. A lot of people have probably read Cinder. I'm sure not many people have read, you know, some of the UK releases, but I'm finding that I really like the UK middle grade authors. So I love that in this day and age, we can just order the books and we can get them. We can get our hands on them, because you think about it, like 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been that easy. So I love how big the world is and how many different perspectives we can get. And so anyway, that's a total digression there. But I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love to hear your comments about any of these books down below in the comment section, as always. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you stick around and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.